Welcome to the Bludd Heart Podcast, episode 14. What we do here is talk about all things Diablo 3 related, and then we branch out to other topics as well. I post episodes on Tuesdays on all major podcast platforms, and especially YouTube. That's where all the comments are. But you can always tweet me at Bluddshed on Twitter if you have any questions about the podcast or just any questions maybe you want added to the podcast. This week, we have a lot of little things to talk about to make one big podcast. We're going to talk about the chat bugs in Diablo 3. There was also a Malth statue released in Diablo I want to touch on. I also want to talk about Classic being on the top of Twitch for so long, Classic World of Warcraft, and many more like we talked about. But first, I like to talk about my life chat. I like to let you guys know what's going on in the world of Bluddshed. I reduced my stream hours this past week. I was doing 80 hours a week streaming, plus, making the podcast and doing content on YouTube. And it was just like, I could only sustain it for so long. We did 80 hours for a while. And then before that, we were doing 70 hours. And I think it's just, you could tell in the podcasts, maybe they were a little rushed and and then life happened. I have like doctor's appointments I have to go to, and I have like IRS appointments. I have to just fix a few things. Nothing bad. I'm healthy and everything is good. Nothing crazy. It's just like adulting happened, and it's just too much. So I scaled down my stream to 40 hours a week, which me slacking is still 40 hours a week, right? And then we're still going to do the podcast. And then I have more energy for everything else, like focusing on the stuff behind the stream, getting like the alerts working. And I have a lot of stuff I've been just kind of putting on the back burner. A big part of it was WoW came out, and I've been no-lifing WoW and Diablo at the same time, and trying to run, like, I guess, a business between, being a content creator. And it was just like way too much to do. And I did it as long as I could, but I'm going to scale back for a while and do 40 hours a week streaming. That'll be Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Pacific. And we usually go a little bit over. So it averages out being a good amount of time for the week. But other than that, my weekend was really fun. I watched It 2 in theaters. I saw that Saturday night. It was a long movie, man. It was like a 3-hour movie, but the pacing was good. I know a few people complained about the time. I didn't notice it as much. I was chilling. I like horror movies. It's my favorite genre, if you don't know that about me. I would say if you like the first movie, you'll definitely like It 2. It's like John Wick 1 versus John Wick 2. It's like more of the same, but in a good way. Like you go there to expect action, or you go there to expect to be scared. And I'm more of a Hereditary type of guy in terms of the movies, or It Follows, The Exorcist, Evil Dead. I like the maybe more demonic horror, but I did enjoy it. It was a good movie overall. I'd say I'd recommend it for sure if you like horror movies, or if you saw the first one, you want to see how it all wraps up. Definitely check out It 2. And football. So Sundays for football. Bluddshed is very much into fantasy football and, American football in general. So my friends come over, or we go to like a sports bar, and we just kind of kick it. This week we stayed at my house, and I had people come over, and I played WoW on my second monitor like a real crackhead, I played WoW on I have another desktop and another TV in my living room, right? If you saw my room tour, you can check it out on YouTube. So everyone was over, and I was just playing WoW like very casually. Like I was just AFK in the woods, and then I would reach over during commercials, kill a few boars, and then go back. There's a lot of slow moments. And this week was actually kind of crazy in football. If you guys follow, there was a lot of weird moments. On Friday we had a full moon, and it was Friday the 13th. So I think it kind of carried over into the football season, because it was really weird. There was like 2 major quarterback injuries, and there was a lot of things to go wrong, right? A lot of people were injured, and a lot of weird decisions by coaches. But yeah, so my weekend was good. We had movies, we all had to eat, drink, had some football. It was pretty chill. I hope you guys had a good weekend as well, and I wish you the best for this upcoming week. All right, on to Diablo 3 news. Well, it's a slow news week, but there is a sale. All right, so the Eternal Collection, the Battle Chest, and like pretty much there's a sale on Battle.net for Diablo 3. If you have any friends that maybe been wanting to play, you want to make your own party, or maybe an alt account, an alternate account for whatever reason. Alt accounts work great for me because I do like build testing, and I try to run a full softcore roster of players and a full hardcore roster. And sometimes I can't fit them all on one account, even though I have max character slots and everything. It's a lot for one account. And if I want to do the YouTube Let's Play, I have it there. So I have another account for my YouTube Let's Play specifically. Another reason I have two accounts is I can do the challenge drift on my second account. So I can practice the challenge drift, make videos for everybody before the new season starts. So there is a little bit more benefit there, but I don't do any multi-boxing or anything like that. So you don't, yeah. But it's, it's there. Or maybe it's if you want to get it on another platform or whatever reason, I guess you can have two accounts. I guess this is kind of Diablo news, but one thing I want to do, and I've been saying, and now that I have a reduced stream schedule, I can focus more on the builds. So today on stream, we spent like an hour working on a Lawn Singularity bounty build and a Lawn Singularity T16 build. So we already had these on the channel, but now I can play through them and tweak them. I already changed a few things about them. I'm going to go through every day and play all the builds. That way, when you guys go to my Patreon page and you check out the builds, everything is going to be updated and tested constantly. So that's my goal, I guess, is to make sure that when you guys check out my builds, you're getting at least the version of the build that I like the most. And we made a really decent, a bounty build for Lawn Singularity. I already had a good T16 build. I even tweaked that a little bit also. So every day on stream, I'm just going to give like an hour, set an hour aside to do build testing. And then I'll probably update it that night or the next day to reflect the changes. And it'll just be constantly updated. You're like a revolving door. Like the builds are always evolving as new things, especially this season. We only had, the week for the PTR and not a lot of time to test everything thoroughly. So there might be better versions that pop up as the season progresses. And next season, we might get more legendaries. If you remember a few weeks ago, we reported that, Diablo said that they have dozens of legendaries in the works. So a lot of these builds are going to change over time. So even though the core mechanics might be the same, multi-shot might still be multi-shot. Like we might have like different versions of the build. So always check back for the latest version of that. And you can always bookmark it or something. All right. So there's been bugs. All right. This is one of the weekly topics. So there's been bugs in Diablo, and not the kind of bugs you squash out like in, Ruins of Sescheron, okay? Like actual chat bugs. There's been two major problems. Okay, there's an issue when you join parties, you get stuck in like your previous game. Like the parties sometimes don't go to the same instance, and it's really frustrating for players who want to group up. It's almost like a impromptu solo self-found season, right? Where you're playing solo because a lot of people can't even group with other players. There's also another problem where you join a party, but you're not actually able to chat with anyone in the party. There's like an error saying you're not in the party, but obviously you're in the party. So it's kind of weird. Like it's almost like kind of forcing people. I think the servers are getting pounded from WoW Classic or something. It's been a really bizarre grouping, and like the clan chat was down for a few days, and like it doesn't show your clan tag, and my friends list was, I thought everyone removed me from their friends list. I was like, wait, me and Lexi aren't friends anymore? Or wait, what's going on? Me and Adam aren't friends anymore? And I was like, oh, it's just a stupid bug thing, man. Like, what did I do? Is it something I did? So yeah, there's been a lot of weird issues. And if you're experiencing anything like that, hopefully it gets patched on Wednesday. I think there's a patch cycle for Diablo on Wednesday. There's obviously, you have your Tuesday patch, but I think it says it right here. We'll be performing scheduled maintenance beginning on Wednesday, September 18th at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We expect the service to be available at 12, so just 1 hour later. So hopefully they have a fix for it. It even says right here, we're aware of an issue where some players are showing as level 0 in the clan, and other players cannot even see or receive invites to the clan. This is actively being investigated by the team. Thank you for your patience in the meantime. So yeah, there's been a lot of issues in general, and it looks like by Wednesday, hopefully it all resolves itself. I can understand it gets really frustrating when you're trying to do stuff and, you can't get your Paragon, or you're trying to pug with people and you can't communicate. So hopefully this gets resolved and we can put it behind us. What else happened this week in Diablo, man? We got a lot of little tidbits of information. There was a Malthiel statue that got released, which I was shocked about. I was really tripping about this statue. It's on the Blizzard page. It's actually sold out already, by the way. It's on the main Blizzard website if you want to check it out, though. It's a PVC, so it's a plastic statue, but it does help keep the price down, right? It's a $55 statue, or it was a $55 statue, and it looks good. Like, the art's cool. The color palette they chose is dope. I like everything about it. I was just shocked that it was Malthiel at first. I was really tripping on stream. Like, I don't understand why they would release a Malthiel statue, because it just seems like so long ago we got Reaper of Souls. Like, there's no hype surrounding Malthiel. You know, I think it would be like a Dark Wanderer statue or a Diablo statue to promote Diablo 4 announcement at BlizzCon. I'm just guessing, right? If we get the Diablo 4 announcement, or if there's going to be like a Diablo 2 announcement, you think there'd be something like... But no, it's a Malthiel statue. It looks good. I like it. I was just confused why it even exists at this point. But maybe for the holiday season, it's September, I guess. I'm kind of working through it in my head, as you can see. Like, why is this statue here? Yeah, some people were complaining that it was plastic. Some people complained that it wasn't like a real statue. But then, you know, you're like damned if you do, and then you're damned if you don't. So if you make a real legit statue of metal and, you know, high quality parts, then it's probably going to be like $350 to $500. But then people are going to get upset because it's so high. But then if you make it more affordable, then it's too cheap. So you can't win with Blizzard. So they should just do whatever they want and let the cards fall where they lie or whatever, you know? But it's already sold out, so that's got to be a good thing. There was a rumor last year that we were going to get like a Diablo comic book series or like a Diablo Netflix series, all kinds of stuff. So I'm just trying to think, like, maybe Malthiel will be involved in one of these series potentially, or is it just a one-off thing? It doesn't have to be always meaning something at Blizzard. It doesn't have to always be something, right? It could just be they wanted to maybe make Malthiel, because if they do character classes, then they'd have to make, you know, there's 7 classes. They'd have to have 7 different statues to accommodate every class. Or they would have to do like, you know, like the Butcher, or I guess you would just maybe do something that everybody can enjoy. So it's like work smarter, not harder type of situation. But you should check it out if you're curious. They might come back in stock, or they might be in stock at BlizzCon if you're going to be there. So they might have some extra at BlizzCon. Like maybe they set aside a certain amount for the con. The con is less than a month and a half away. I'm super excited. I can't wait to get there. One of the other topics I wanted to talk about specifically was World of Warcraft Classic being on top of Twitch.tv. Okay, so it's been about 3 weeks since WoW came out, and it's pretty much been on top of Twitch ever since. When Borderlands released, it kind of knocked down a lot of the viewers because a lot of the big streamers left. But I know we're supposed to hate Blizzard in 2019, but damn, if they didn't dethrone Fortnite for a while, I mean, you got my hat's off, right? Literally, my hat's off right now. We're clapping. I guess I'm super happy that a new generation of kids might pay attention to something like WoW Classic, like a proper RPG with talent trees, you know, challenging content where it feels rewarding. You know, it's not necessarily hard, but it's harder to level, and you get to feel the pain, and everyone is kind of bonded by the pain of leveling, of slow walking. Like, it takes a long time to travel, and, you know, having to respect your talents, or leveling up anything, literally anything, your weapon skills, you know, respecting your talents. Like, there's a lot of hardship in Classic. It's almost like an older school RPG, which was actually an easy RPG when it originally came out, compared to like EverQuest and other games similar to it, Final Fantasy XI and so forth. But damn, man, it makes me happy that in 2019, an old school RPG is helping drive the market. And then maybe like a bunch of the young kids will be playing it, or they see, you know, their favorite streamers streaming it, and they try it out. And then now you have a whole new generation of kids that are maybe into like a proper RPG versus just like shooters or something else that maybe I'm not interested in. Like, something that was important to me was RPGs like Diablo 2, Zelda, like an action type of RPG like that. And it's just really important, I guess. What do you guys think about WoW being on top? It probably won't last forever, maybe a few more days, and then it'll start to decline, but it should still be like a top 3 on Twitch for a good amount of time, I'd say. And another thing that it's doing is it's kind of making me into the new WoW expansion. So it kind of like it did work, man. Like when you like one game, you're like, okay, maybe I would be apt to playing the new game when it comes out. Yeah, like Blizzard could have did that with Diablo Immortal, right? So you'd be like, they give us all this D4 juicy details, and then we're fiending. We're like, damn, D4 looks so good. Did you see the trailer of BlizzCon? I'm talking in a hypothetical world, right? Let's say they give us a trailer for D4, and then we're so happy. And then they're like, hey, check out this mobile game while you wait. Like, you see how that's way different? Like, their World of Warcraft is like, here's classic. You're like, damn, this is a good game. And then you're like, okay. And then we have, a new retail expansion coming out in the next year. And then you're like, yeah, maybe I'll try it. So this is way different when you feed the community. They're full. You're not crazy thirsty anymore. And then maybe you're open to new ideas, right? And that kind of segues us into our next question I get is, yo, Bluddshed. Yo, Blood. Yo, Blood. Hey, Blood. Yo, Blood. Will you play Diablo Immortal when it's released? I get this question a lot on stream. And either I insta-ban people or, no, I'm just kidding. I don't do that. Or, no, I usually say this. If we get a Diablo 4 announcement, I would definitely be open to playing D4, not on stream, but maybe like on a YouTube series or just in general, I would play it. I'm really curious. It talks about like the origin of the demon hunters. And I mean, I would be curious for almost any game. I downloaded that new Pokemon Masters game on my phone that came out. So I like Diablo. So I pretty much would be just intrigued, even if it's a train wreck or what do they say? You can't look away from a train wreck. No matter what, I would at least download it and try it at some point, but I wouldn't do a YouTube series unless we had Diablo 4 announced, because like I talked about earlier, you would have to feed your main core audience before they can eat something else, right? Before we're interested in another thing. So I know it's more popular to say like, screw mobile games. And I know it's way more cool. The cool kids say, nah, F mobile games and all that stuff. But I'm always 100% real with everybody. And honestly, I'm intrigued. I'm going to play it. I played at BlizzCon like 100 times in a row. If you don't know, I was at BlizzCon last year. I streamed it at BlizzCon and I had a media badge. So I actually was in the media room. If you don't know what's in the media room, it's demos of games. So I actually played Diablo Immortal over and 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 over. And it's probably the best mobile game I ever played. And but I could just be a huge fan of the series, but it's still a mobile game. So you have like, let's say the mobile game can only achieve a certain number of success. Let's say the mobile game can only make you happy 80%, and then a PC game makes you happy 100%. So it still has a cap on how much it can make me happy, right? So I would be open to play and make content for Immortal if we get Diablo 4 and Diablo 4 looks good and not like half-assed or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, I'll tell you guys honestly, I don't care if it's people get angry or not. You're going to get the realest, illest from Blood 24/7, 365, okay? What else? We got some gaming news. We got Borderlands 3 came out. It got a lot of 8s, and then IGN gave it a 9, and then it got another 9. So it looks overall pretty well received. It's kind of more of the same, but more well done. Like we were talking about earlier also, like a John Wick 3. It's more John Wick, but more polished, better, and with new systems. So that's pretty good. Iceborne came out. Iceborne's doing well. Iceborne is also very well received. They added like new quests, new monsters, new moves, obviously new like locales, locations, and all that stuff. It seems to be again like the original game, but better. Like kind of improved on it. So it's good that game companies double down on what people like and then maybe add a few things that they think is good. They also added a new difficulty called Master Ranked, which is it's like a new quest tier. It's almost like G rank from the older games, right? So the monsters are stronger than ever before, and it just adds a new level of challenge. Like the game already gets a little challenging at certain moments, so now you have a whole new rank, a whole new host of harder monsters to tackle. So we got those two games coming out, and then we had WoW Classic come out, and WoW Classic's been a hit. It's been just like super crazy, super popular, addicted to that myself. And then we had the Diablo Season 18. We had just like a lot of releases. Final Fantasy 8 on mobile and PC, a remastered version of that. We're also getting even more games coming out. There's a whole slew of games for September, and it's already the 17th. Tomorrow, it's going to be the 17th by the time you guys listen to the podcast. On the 20th, we have The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening on the Switch. What an amazing game. If you guys don't know about this, it's coming to the Switch, right? The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. All right, the remake, it's a remake to the original 1993 Game Boy game, okay? It also retains the original top-down perspective gameplay and a lot of the original elements. They call it like a retro modern art style. I really love this game when I played it on my Game Boy, and I'm super excited to download it. I just hope I have time to play it, because I still gotta play Final Fantasy VIII. I gotta get to 60 in WoW. If you don't know, I'm level 49 in World of Warcraft, so yeah, I got too much games to play. It all came out at the same time. They're adding all kinds of new stuff to it, but it's basically a remake of the Game Boy game, and that's on the 20th. We're getting Baldur's Gate on the Switch, PS4, and Xbox. Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 with all the enhanced editions. They're also releasing Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3 on the Switch. That's coming September 22nd. Like, a lot of these old games are coming to new platforms, and that's the future. I want all my games on one handheld. They also released the Super Nintendo app on the Switch, so you can play a lot of SNES games. So if you're really big Nintendo fan like me, I bought the SNES Classic, but I never play it because it's just like it's like a console, so I have to hook it up and play it. And there's a lot of setup time, you know. Even if you have like a game room, you just have to, you're limited to like a cord also. But if you have it on your Switch, you can play it anywhere, whether you're in line at the grocery store, the DMV, or you're at your freaking parents' house, or wherever you are in the world, man, school, in between classes. It's awesome. So I'm so happy. They're probably going to add more and more games. And I was playing Ghosts and Goblins, and I was on top of the world, chat. And they have Breath of Fire and some other cool games like Mario Kart on there on the Switch. So download it if you don't have it. It's not free, but it's part of their online service. Their online service, I think, is $5 a month if you want to check it out. Also in September, still, we have like FIFA coming out, Tropico 6 on PS4 and Xbox, and Ni no Kuni Remastered on PC September 20th. And there's a bunch of other games coming out. So yeah, this is going to be lit. And it's not even like, we still got like Pokemon later this year and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, it should be a good year for gaming. It's going to continue through the end of the year, I believe. If you're looking to buy a console game specifically, like PS4, Xbox, and the Switch, there's like a Amazon, like this came out of nowhere. It's called the Amazon mid-month game sale. And they have a bunch of games on sale right now. Assassin's Creed is 50% off. Just Cause 4. I'm just scrolling through the list right here. Killing Floor. I don't know what you guys are into. Days Gone is 38% off on PS4. No Man's Sky. I know No Man's Sky got a bunch of updates recently and an expansion. It's 60% off on Xbox. I think it's the hard copy though, like the physical copy. I don't know if anybody buys physical copies anymore. I know I'm looking into physical copies for my Switch because I have not that much storage. I need to get a bigger storage drive. But in general, I don't really buy physical. I just do the download, right? Devil May Cry is on sale. Evil Within 2. Elder Scrolls Skyrim Special Edition on Xbox. Crackdown 3. Definitely check it out. I'll try to put links to everything that we talk about in the podcast and the description. Final Fantasy, all kinds of stuff. So check it out. You might see something that you've been wanting to play, and maybe you have a chance to get it started. Oh, I wanted to talk about this. I wasn't sure if I wanted to talk about this last subject, but CNBC. So I was out doing I talked about my taxes, I think, earlier. I had to basically redo my taxes for 2017. So I was at the H&R Block office, and I'm chilling, you know, I'm just browsing my phone, waiting for the lady to come out, my little tax analyst, right? Shout out to H&R Block. Make sure to enter code BLUDD for a discount. Anyway, I saw this CNBC article, and I'm like, wait, what? This dude's just talking openly about Diablo 4. He's like, oh yeah, Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2 or whatever. And I'm like, what? Where does he get this information from? So the dude is Jeff Cohen. So I looked it up. And I got my video game analyst hat on. The dude's name is Jeff Cohen. He's a research analyst for a stock company. And he does investments and stuff like that. And they do have they're privy to some info from stockholder meetings through Blizzard and things like that. He talked about all this stuff to CNBC, and then they made an article based around what he said. So it's all whatever. But they're just openly talking about D4. Cohen said he expects another World of Warcraft expansion later this year, an Overwatch sequel or expansion, and Diablo 4 in 2021. The company is expected to clarify the release schedule at BlizzCon this November. So yeah, he was talking about how the stock, you should buy it now while it's on the rise. And then with the World of Warcraft success being so huge on Twitch, and like he's basically saying you guys should buy Activision stock or whatever. This is a CNBC article. I'll put it in the description as well. So obviously you can't say without a shadow of a doubt that it's real information. Like if you're like me, I need to see Blizzard need to say it, you know, like it's always interesting. Like you kind of want to know like what's going on behind the scenes, and it's always fun to peek behind the curtain, but this is all just he said, she said. But, you know, CNBC, you know, it's just weird that they just talk about it so openly, like it's fact, you know, and it makes me think that they have some information like behind the scenes that they just can't officially talk about, because, you know, Blizzard Activision's a publicly traded company. So they do have to tell their major investors like how they're going to, you know, keep making money in the next like 2 to 5 years or whatever. Like they have to have these meetings. So it makes me think like down the pipeline, like they all know, but we don't actually know for sure. So I guess we'll know in November. He said that they're going to clarify all their plans this BlizzCon, and it should be one of the most craziest, most lit BlizzCons ever. And yeah, I'm super excited. But that's going to be all for me today. If you want to support the podcast further, you can always subscribe on Twitch, on Patreon, patreon.com/bloodshed. Yo, shout out to the patrons. We got some new patrons this week. Shout out to Molly Mall 88 supporting with that big $25 patronage. And then we had Jason coming through, and Chris and Ann. Yo, thank you guys for the support. It's because of your love and support I get to do the podcast and stream and make content full time for you guys. Big shout out, much love and all that. It really, really means a lot. Also, you can leave reviews on Apple Music or whatever platform you listen to. You can rate it whatever stars you think the podcast is appropriate. You can leave a comment on YouTube. You can always, like I said, tweet at me at twitter.com/bloodshed. I want to know, man. I want to know what you guys are thinking. I love the community and I always like being a part of it. I'll make sure I get timestamps in the description for you guys for everything. And I'll try to put all the links we talked about in the description as well, just to link my source if you guys want to read it. Some people like to also read along and all that stuff. And yeah, I'm going to be better about timestamps. I feel like I've been better in general. So hopefully I make you guys happy because I'm happy. That's going to be all for me today. This is the Bloodshed, and I'm out of here. Peace.